All right. Hello and welcome everyone to today's stream. I hope the technical difficulties won't happen this time. It's been a while. I checked everything twice, so let's hope everything's working. And let's get started. Today I saw a tweet from Natalie on X, and she invited folks to review a pull request by Microsoft onto their own extension. And this is about the apparently new AI Test Toolkit. So let's have a look at this together and do some code review. And 1 second, I think I need to close the window. One moment. All right. Okay, I started with 1 or 2 comments in advance, and then I figured I could as well just do this live. So let's see. Trying to create an Alpaca container. Oh, by now it's running. Okay, so let's try again with the symbols. All right, that worked better. Now, I don't know what it is why Microsoft apps always have the app.json so weirdly formatted. I like to have it auto-formatted like this. That's much better. And now let's have a look at this. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I never did this locally actually, so I didn't expect to have so many errors. But okay. Let's try to download the symbols again, just to be sure. Okay, apparently we will need to live with those errors, but I wanted to have this locally mainly to have the LinterCop enabled to get even more warnings. Right. So let's go through this. There is an API folder, there is a logs folder, there is sample tests, and the test suite. And I'm not sure where I want to start to go through, but maybe because when I want to do any comments, I need to do them here. So let's start from the top maybe. And this is mainly permission sets. And I think he already covered this. So permission sets in a test app, I don't know. So let's just skip all the permission sets and get right into it. And just to be clear, I probably won't go too deep into like functionality review for this. It's mainly just like clean code review, what I want to do. Just have a look at what the code, what it's doing, and just being a little bit annoying, and just commenting on all those guideline stuffs. So this is the install code unit. Let's have a look. So install this one. Okay, apparently we're doing namespaces, and that's good. I'm not a fan of the spaces, since we have only 30 characters for object names still. So, and we need to have the prefix and everything, or the affix, and for that matter. So I want to be as efficient with spacing as possible. So I usually do camel case or Pascal case for object names, but that's like personal preference. So so this cannot be installed if it's SaaS infrastructure and it's not sandbox. So if it's on premise, this returns false. It will not throw an error. So that's good. Like we can install it on premise where we want, or online on sandboxes. That's fine. I saw different places where the error was not called with a label, so that would be something I would complain about. But here it is with a label. So, and I think the linter doesn't work with the with this, so it complains about using an error info. I think when I remove this, yeah, then it will go away. So that's the reason why the linter complains here. But it's all good. Cannot install on an environment that is not sandbox or on-premise. Please contact your administrator. Yeah. I thought about why this is not used with error info, but I don't think there is anything you can really do, like actionable stuff in here, if you cannot install it. If you want to install it in production, it's just, yeah. I mean, the error message could say, don't install it in production, but I think it's fine. So that's good. Next one is the test context. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that's the first time I see review comments in here. Does that mean I can do comments? Whoa. Great, okay. Let's try that. I don't need to switch back and forth all the time. Well, I've learned something today. Okay, yep, so he complains about that this contains public and local method and as well as internal, so that doesn't align with the facade pattern that's usually used. So yep, can agree with this. Shouldn't mix stuff, shouldn't mix patterns or like way of doing stuff. So let's see. So we have a bunch of locked stuff, and that's good. Like those are tokens. They're all suffixed with tokens, so that's nice. They're all locked, that's good. Let's see where this is used. Please use a different scenario operation. It can not be the same as run procedure. Looks like this is hard-coded, but still a parameter, so we need to check where it's used. But it's definitely interesting. Okay, so if scenario operation is a default run scenario operation. Okay. Test suite management. Okay. So this can only be used with run procedure with the default. I'm not sure why this is so made so complicated here. And yeah, if I'm not sure, I cannot really complain about it either. So let's go through this. Missing return type documentation, that's right. This is just get input as JSON, get test type as text. This is just, what is this called? Test context. So it's handling the test context and giving some quality of life functions in here. I like to have this. Should I complain about this double line break in here? I don't think so. I would usually, like if I do a review and I can edit stuff, then I would usually fix those kind of things right away. But yeah, putting in a comment just for a blank line, a little overkill, I think. Okay, and I'm just scanning through the code for stuff that peeks out, because those are always like really similar. Get question as JSON, that's okay. Ground truth, what is ground truth? From the input data set for the current iteration. For the ground truth element. Not sure, maybe we'll find it out later. a model. So this is also being used quite. Yeah, I didn't see globals being used without this keyword here, so it's consistent and that's nice. Set answer for an evaluation. Okay. Okay, it's being used for global variables, but not for global procedures in the same. This is a local procedure. It's in the global scope and it's not being prefixed with this. I mean, it's still consequent. So having the procedures not prefixed, but the globals having them prefixed. So I can agree with this. So this is this return. What does this return? Why can't I? Oh, this is not in scope. So maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe I've loaded just one app out of a bunch of apps that are needed, but not sure. This is a big code unit, actually. Okay, but we made it to the end. I think this is fine. Okay, let's check the test runner. So they implemented a separate, like a new test runner. And I think this is, we have the isolation, test isolation, and I'm not sure what's the default for test isolation. Wait. This is a test runner, which is not a test runner. Yeah, that's worth a comment. Maybe consider renaming this code unit, since the name is confusing. I first thought it actually was a test runner code unit. Let's see if that worked. Nice. Okay, that makes it way easier. All right, let's continue. So access internal single instance. So this, I really don't like single instance code units where it's not event subscribers. So, yeah, really have to be carefully with this. Now here, local procedures are prefixed with this. Might have to go back. What was it here? Do we have, like, why is this? Why is it hidden? I don't know. Add this to align with with your approach, with what I call it, to you have used it for local procedures in other places. There you go. I hope this was the only place. Huh. Here it isn't complained about. Here also. So I'm not sure why that rule complained about local procedures but not about global procedures. Okay, let's continue. Use compare data method of the table to datetime variable comparisons. Why? I think this has to do with time zones. Let's see if this actually applies here. I don't think that this is relevant here, since it's really not just like, I mean, it's test suite code, so you can just rerun it if something's wrong, and you probably have this, like those records won't stay in the database for a long time. So yeah, I think that shouldn't be an issue. 1 second. Okay. There's a commit. Why do we commit? Not sure. Find first. Find. Where is this used? Because from here isn't on before. Is used from here. Initialize method line for run. Okay. Because I always get a little bit suspicious if there are unprotected finds in the code without an if around them, because it will throw runtime errors at the user. But again, test code, the users are developers, so they won't get scared away, or at least they should not be scared about those kind of issues. They should be used to this. So exit the code if not triggered by. Okay. Sometimes I have a feeling like Microsoft does not always use their own code cops, because that's not coming from the linter. That's something, the AA 0248 rule, that's Microsoft. So yep, use your own tools, I'd say. All right. So there is an AA test command line runner. command line card. All other objects do have the prefix. Why does this not have it? Why doesn't this page not have the prefix? Comment. So, yeah. And also, I mean, come on. Everything's separated by space. And this one not. Oh, but okay. So whatever, it seems to be a keyword of some sort. Otherwise, the caption would not be Pascal case either. Okay, so. Is that really? Yep. Wrong casing. Use content instead. Yeah, making the comments in VS Code directly really makes it really easy. So, yep. Add this. Wait, let's make it specific. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we have the caption on the page because it's a variable, otherwise it wouldn't be a page, wouldn't be a caption. But why is it locked? Why should this not be translated? Interesting. Wrong casing. Use record instead. Plus next line. Okay. How often is this used? Once. Yeah, there is like a non-written rule to have those kind of labels global, but this originates from the CAL times, where it would be tedious to search all the labels out of, like, was it labels? I guess it was labels out of those local procedures and everything, but nowadays use this for code. Consider making local. Otherwise, also use this. Does the tool, like, do tooltips always need to end with a dot? I'm not sure. Number of tests. Again, yeah, I mean, how often should I? All those cases. I won't comment on all of them, I guess. Will be clear. Yep. If they don't want to use the linter, I will force them to use the linter. Just comment this all and over again. At least those kind of things, because this is really like, if I'm not sure if you've seen this in telemetry, But if you raise an error without a label, then you will just see, like, you won't get any details. You will just see in telemetry that there was an error, but you don't get any details. So yeah, it really helps to put the stuff into labels. And I just saw Tom commented on LinkedIn that it's not about time zones. What I thought was about time zones, the comparison between date times. It's about rounding precision for date times. Yeah, I need to have a look at the procedure to compare date times in the type helper function. Thanks for the comment. So there is more casing, but again, I think focusing on like those kind of casings. I mean, it's still annoying, but please don't write record in lowercase. Again, this is missing. This is missing. This is good. Now what's the problem here? Is says. Oh, the S is lowercase. Interesting. Okay. On open page, now that works. Again, missing this, but again, I want to get through the major part of this. Let's go here. API pages. Interesting. I don't think I've seen those, like using Microsoft using those properties to do a custom API themselves. This is not API v2. Like this, I guess this will follow the custom API URL patterns and not the base app API patterns from the v2 extension. So very interesting. We have the source table, we have the OData key fields being system ID, that looks good. Delayed insert true, extensible false. I think it's out of the box not extensible, so that might be not needed, but I'm not sure. All the fields are correct. Do we have... We do not have the last modified. See if I can find this real quick. AI guidelines dev. Was this correct? This was correct. So I just need to check this. API page, field properties, mandatory fields. This field should be exposed with the name last modified date time. If you choose a different name, then the webhook functionality will not work correctly. All right. Let's see. Next one. Same stuff in here. Let's go back and just edit this. Let's just check if it's not included in here, but I don't think so. No, it's not. Okay. All right. Log entries. Okay, so AIT stands for AI Test Toolkit, apparently. So that's already complained about. We do not have the usage category. So, and we do not have application area either. What kind of code cop is this? This is the UI cop. All right. According to the UI cop, you should set the usage category category property if the page not be searchable, set it to none. Okay. That's at least how I do it. Content again lowercase, but yeah. I'm not sure though if I can't do like a case fixing pull request onto this. I need to check that. Time is a little limited, so I won't do that today, but yeah. But maybe another date. So wait a second. So this is rec. We are on the page. Log entry table. Let's just be sure. There is an insert, but I don't think we have on delete, but still. Yeah. Call the delete trigger to not break to enable subscription to the on delete trigger. I think it's just good practice. I don't think everyone agrees with this, but that's my opinion on this. Always call the triggers. So this is unknown word, that's fine. Bunch of globals again. I'm not sure about the globals. I really don't like that. Here we have again the this keyword really used properly, and then again, I'm not sure yet if I'm a fan of this, but I think if you use it, you should use it always. If you don't want to use it, you should never use it, but just don't mix. Like, I don't know. Okay, this is formatting nightmare, but I really like to have those kind of stuff separated a little bit so it's easier to read. But again, probably my opinion. Let's see, there we have how to increment on the entry number. Test suite code is not blank. Okay, this is not present on pages. So what this warning says is that you should do the allow in customizations property, which is either always or never. I'm not sure why they went this route and not just said true or false, but whatever. So you need to set this explicitly, and the idea behind this warning is, or this info, that you are aware of those, like that this can be put onto pages by administrators for the on the client level. So you don't forget to set this when you really don't want to have this on pages. Otherwise, you could always add it to pages already and just make it visible false. So that's the idea. Oh, this is a good one. Flow fields should not be editable. And I feel like this is advertising for the LinterCop. So if you don't have this installed, give it a look. This was actually the very first rule we implemented. You can get rid of this if you open to have this and you know what you're doing. I think somewhere, where was the comment position? Okay, no, you need to do pragma. Sometimes the rules are like you should put a comment explaining what you're doing if you're doing those edge cases. Okay. Okay. Natalie's asking about the summaries here, because we have the description property on table fields, which is used for like intended for internal use. I think it's just something that did not get obsoleted yet, because during cult times we didn't have those kind of ability to put in comments wherever we wanted. So yeah, those are missing dependencies. Allowing customizations, again, allowing customizations, data classification. It's a public method on an object for internal but never used. Yeah, but I mean, okay. I see why we have this. Maybe it's it will be needed later on, so I'm fine with this. Isn't this global? Oh, this is a field. See? I'm a fan to put in rec here. And then we have the clear distinction. This .message would be a global variable. Rec.message would be a field. Then it's visible, but okay. Set array, set filter, encoding. All right, let's go on. Another page. This lines compare. Yep. So this is something I wanted to. And now I need to double check if I did not complain about this before. Yeah, I did. Okay. So this was one I put in before I started the stream. And this is also a linter rule. I don't remember exactly in which version this got added to the language, but before you would need to specify application area on all fields explicitly. By now, with the current version of the AI language, it inherits whatever the page says. So you only need to set it if you want to set it to a different application area, a field or a control in general, than the page. So you can remove a bunch of lines if you just don't want to repeat yourself. So we have this already. And then, yep. And this. Tooltip, wrong casing. Caption is missing. And caption is missing. More casing. I think I like it, actually. I think I'm starting to like this. Okay, again, application area all. This is again, I feel like this is copy paste. Oh, I collapsed it. That was, okay. Caption is missing. Let's see. Okay, then we have, this is sample test. So what is, this is JSON stuff. This is a, okay, this is a code unit. A test code unit without test permissions. Okay, I don't think it needs permissions actually, so I think it should be good. Nothing really to complain about in here. Let's move on. Marketing tags. Why is it in here? Huh. Okay. Not sure where this is coming from, actually. Probably nothing I will complain about either, but this, why this is XML, first of all, this is JSON, this is XML. And this is also XML, so that's confusing. And then we have the same data, I suppose, in here. No, it's different. Okay, I feel like this is a little confusing. Yeah, okay, so yeah, okay. No, this is a test code unit, so I hesitated to put in the same comment as before, complaining about that this should be used with a label, like according to the warning. But yeah, in test code units, I don't think this is relevant, but, and it's not even used in here, this mimics the message that would be coming from the assert code unit. And I like to always have the assert code unit used for verifications of test results. So I'll put this in here. Consider using the assert library code unit instead of doing a manual error. Is this Flutter? I've been asked in the chat, so I'm not sure what you mean actually. This is the so-called AL language. It's a proprietary language from Microsoft to develop Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So if you're not familiar with this, you can check out. There is great documentation about everything online. So, and we're doing code review from Microsoft, like off Microsoft code. So yeah, there's lots to complain about. And again, like all those little dots under here, they all say that this is missing. But I'm not sure about like with test code. I will probably not complain about this too heavily. So declared but never used, and then 3 references. So something seems to be broken here with the language. Okay. Let's see this. Why is it? There were 3 properties in the other one. I'm not building anything. This is I'm doing code review this time. Here is a repository from Microsoft, which and they're doing pull requests, and recently they've open sourced. Like I think by now we can say it's open source completely. So Microsoft's doing a pull request for a new feature we're going to get, a toolkit, a test toolkit to test AA functionality. Because Microsoft's going crazy about Copilot and stuff. So they're adding this test toolkit, and I'm just browsing through the code and not doing a functionality in-depth review, but more like a coding smells, like code smells and guidelines review to annoy them a little bit, I guess. So, yep, and I'm probably one of the only few people that are doing this AI language development for Business Central and not working on Windows. So, yeah. So let's see. What did they do here? Format in all case range. Maybe do format instead. That's great. So those should be tokens in an ideal world, but again, we're doing test code here, so I'm not as concerned about stuff like this. And again, yeah. So why? Can maybe use the assert library. They're building an assert library and then doing the asserts manually. I mean. All right, now I think this is the last bunch of code units here, and this is all. Since this is a test tool, it's really confusing, like to separate the sample, like the test code, the actual test code. And I guess that those are samples only. So, so yeah, it's a little hard to distinguish what we're looking at. But again, this is not good. Use action instead. There we go. All right. Okay, so this is okay. I thought it would be complaining about access internal, but it's not. So I'm not sure why this is even showing this information. There's a dependency missing. I like the triggers here. If not find set, then exit. A find set can potentially be quite expensive. It does do. They do a read uncommitted, so this makes it less expensive, but. How expensive is a find set with read uncommitted if the filters don't, like if there are no values? I feel like I would do an isEmpty, exit, and then do the find set afterwards, doing 2 SQL round trips. but it depends how often this exit happens, I guess. So I think it can stay like this. Insert trigger missing because it's temporary. Okay, we'll ignore this for now. But this is not temporary. This is a local variable. So here we want to have the trigger. Run, delete, trigger to make sure the events are raised. Again, wait a second. What's going on here? Okay, first I thought that they're doing is empty and then delete and not delete all, and that way they wouldn't actually delete anything because they're not pointing to that record, but it's a different variable. So we're looking at this. So we have two records, how they are linked together. Okay, it's multiple. It's just a test code unit. That's static. That's static. The filters, I mean. But the test code unit. So when I remove empty code unit test lines, so couldn't there be a flow field which you can then filter on here? Oh, okay. No, it's okay. They're just static because they're filtered here as well. It could still be a flow field. Okay. This and this entire loop could be replaced by creating a flow field on the test method line table, a function count flow field on the table. Then you can add that to the filter of the test method line record and use delete all true. Because then if you do that, you would not read so much. It would be one, like if there are no triggers, it will be one execute, like one SQL statement, giving all the filters that SQL needs, and then saying, well, everything that applies, delete it. You save this reads, those reads, and the deletes. making it way faster. So you would need to create a flow field specifying all the filters, and then you have like how many functions are applied, like are attached to each of the code units method lines, and then that way you can then filter. Here we have the run the modify trigger. Modify trigger to enable event to raise the event. I think this is how I named it before. What? What? Read uncommitted. If get. Oh, it's a different variable. Okay, got it. Not saying it makes sense, but I got it. And yep, okay, so consider add set load fields. Doesn't matter how many fields you actually have or how little of fields you have on the table. Use set load fields. Just make stuff faster. If not, find last. Isn't this like number series built manually? Increase string. Add read isolation and step load fields. And that parameter does not need to be set explicitly to false. It's the default. And also, if you ever set it to true, you do not need to have the read isolation anymore, because that implicitly, like if you set it to true, you have read isolation update log. So yeah, and read isolation is also missing. Yeah. What is this? This was the first one only. Okay, let's go through this. Yeah, missing captions. Add value. Captions. I need to run in a minute. I think I need to finish this another time, and then I might look into fixing all of those casing, miscasing values as well. So yeah, that's the plan. Oh, there is a commit incoming. Might need to pull that. Let's have a look at what changed, just to be sure I did not comment on old stuff. This was actually okay, nothing that I commented on. All right. So as I said, need to run, but I will come back to this. I will finish the review, and I hope I will get to this before they finish the pull request, to actually get another, like some more of those fixes in there, and maybe speed things up a little bit. So I hope to get to this week. So if you did not do so already, make sure to either follow me on anywhere like Twitter, LinkedIn, or subscribe to YouTube. Then you get notified when I get to this again and continue the review. All right. Let's get going and see you next time.